In this video, I'm going to show you how to plan for Japan's cherry blossom season using real data, not guesses. Because Sakura season is difficult to plan for, so I'll walk you through the actual bloom dates for Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka from the last 5 years, plus a planning strategy that generally works. Before getting to the facts, consider subscribing. Historical dates. I'll be using Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto as benchmarks, and all my data is directly from the Japan Meteorological Agency. In the last 5 years, across these cities, the average full bloom is around March the 31st to the 3rd. But wait a minute, in reality, it shifts by up to 2 weeks depending on the year. For example, in 2021 and 2023, Sakura bloomed very early in all 3 cities, whilst 2024, Sakura was significantly later due to a cold winter. And 2025 actually saw Tokyo return to a more normal flowering window, whilst Osaka and Kyoto was a little bit delayed. Therefore, the classic window, which has traditionally always been from the 25th of March to the 5th of April, is unreliable. The bloom can swing around 2 weeks on either side, showing exactly why tourists must stay flexible. Understanding the peak confusion. A lot of people misunderstand what peak bloom actually means. Peak or full bloom is when around 80% of the flowers on the benchmark tree are open. But this doesn't mean that the day before or the day after aren't good. In real life, the visual peaks last around 5 to 7 days, sometimes longer if the weather is calm. So even if you arrive a few days before the bloom or a few days after full bloom, it still is probably going to look incredible. The only thing that truly ruins blossoms is if it's raining or if there's strong wind, then it can actually knock the petals off very quickly. How long does cherry blossoms actually stay on the trees? On average, the blossoms actually remain on the trees between 7 and 10 days after full bloom. And if the weather is stable, it can actually be closer to 10 to 12 days. And if there's rain or strong wind, as I've mentioned, they can actually fall off within 48 hours. So this is why planning is so tricky. The window is short, but not as short as people think. You do not need to be in Japan on the exact day of full bloom. Planning. There is no longer a guaranteed week for cherry blossoms. Late March works some years and early April other years. Occasionally Tokyo peaks in late March whilst Kyoto peaks in early April. Because of this, the safest planning method is flexibility. Flexibility strategy that actually works. If traveling in Japan on a 2-week trip, then I suggest that you try to be in Japan for the last week of March and the first week of April. It's not an 100% guarantee, but you'll have a much better chance. Want to better your chances even more? Then choose the region whose bloom historically aligns with your trip. Late March, Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka. Early April, Sendai, Fukushima. Mid-late April, we're talking Aomori, Hirosaki, and early May, Hokkaido. Always try to give yourself flexibility around those dates. And if you do arrive and you find that the forecast has changed and you're arriving early, then go south. And if you arrive too late, go north. Is Tokyo past peak? Then Sendai is usually just starting. And if Kyoto is past peak, then try Kanazawa or Nagano. Right, when should you book flights? Because for cherry blossom travel, the best time to book flights is as early as you possibly can. If you have dates, you can actually start looking a year in advance. But I don't think that looking this far ahead will guarantee the best prices. I booked mine in September, around 8 months before my travel, and I suggest that you start early, tracking your flights on sites like Google Flights or even Expedia. I actually set up my own tracker and I got an alert that my flight had gone down $200, so I quickly booked. Prices almost always climb as you get closer to March and April. This time of the year is peak, so don't leave it too late. All right, what is the accommodation strategy? Cherry blossom season is the most competitive hotel season in Japan, and that means that you need to book smart. So, to avoid issues, book a free cancellation hotel now as soon as possible. Recheck your prices 3 months before your trip and then again 4 to 6 weeks before your trip to see if you find a better deal. Prioritize weekdays in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka as the weekend can get incredibly busy. Just remember that Sakura season in Japan is peak booking time, and the closer you decide to stay at popular Sakura spots, the harder and the more expensive hotels will be. I don't usually advise staying a little bit further away from major travel hubs, but at a pinch, this might actually be your solution. How to track the forecasts. Forecasting begins around late January and they're updated weekly, and it's important to note that early forecasts can actually change drastically, and it won't be until the end of February or the start of March that they become a little bit more reliable. But it will give you a little bit of a rough idea of when you can actually start getting your act together. Recommended cherry blossom locations. Here are reliable, beautiful locations in each major city. In Tokyo, consider going to the Meguro River or Shinjuku Gyoen, Ueno Park, or Sumida Park near Tokyo Skytree. If you're heading to Kyoto, then check out Philosopher's Path. You will not regret it. Maruyama Park, Anyasaka Shrine, Nijo Castle, and Arashiyama Riverside is just spectacular. And in Osaka, Osaka Castle Park is incredibly beautiful, and close by, you might even want to check out Himeji Castle too. And if you're near Kyoto, then definitely head to Mount Wakakusa area. It's much less crowded than Nara Park and stunning during blossom. Alternative options, if you want more, you can actually go to places like Hikone Castle, Takao. There's so much. What to do if you miss or if you arrive early or late? You still have options, guys. Plum blossoms bloom from mid-February to early March, so you'll have to check that forecast out. It's a whole different thing. Sendai and Fukushima peak in early April, Aomori and Hirosaki peak in late April, and Hokkaido peaks in early to mid-May. Japan's bloom wave lasts 2 months from south to north. It's not the end of the world. You just need to plan accordingly. Getting your Japan trip planned? Well, you're gonna need some data mobile for those maps, Google translations, and taking photos and putting them on Instagram. Consider using my affiliate link with Sakura Mobile at no additional cost to you. I'll receive a small commission, and you'll be getting something that you were probably gonna get anyway. You're set to go? What else do you need to know? Well, you need to know that crowds are gonna be part of the season. If you want quieter spots, visit early in the morning or head out of Tokyo, out of Kyoto, or out of Osaka. Allergies are a thing. Pollen is strong in spring and many travelers get itchy eyes or sneezing. The season is shortish, so be flexible, have a backup plan, factor this in case. Book attractions in advance. Places like Team Lab, Shibuya Sky, Skytree, Universal Studios Ghibli Park, Poker Park, and major museums often sell out during cherry blossom season, at which point you cannot arrive and expect a ticket. Some tickets even go on sale a few months prior, so you need to start booking now. I'll actually leave my affiliate link to Klook in case you want to help out at no additional cost to you and get yourself those tickets. During peak Sakura, Yamato and other courier services hit capacity, so if you're relying on same-day luggage forwarding, book it ahead. Weather and what to pack. Well, cherry blossom season falls right in the middle of Japanese spring, which means the weather can change quickly and sometimes drastically. Expect daytime temperatures between 10 degrees Celsius and sometimes even hitting the early 20s. But mornings and evenings can feel much colder, especially in Kyoto and northern regions. Some days are going to be sunny and warm, and others can be windy, rainy, or suddenly drop into single digits. Always check the weather forecast a few days before you leave for Japan is what I recommend. I always pack a light jacket or a windbreaker and a warmer jacket for the evening. Layering up is absolutely key. A hoodie, a light knit, or a fleece is recommended, especially at night. Always take comfortable shoes to Japan. You'll be walking long distances in parks, gardens, and riversides. And as a bonus, a small picnic sheet, useful if you plan to do hanami, which is basically having a picnic under the beautiful sakura trees. If you want cherry blossom updates, regional guides, and practical Japan travel information, make sure that you subscribe. I'll be covering most forecasts as they become available. This video is possible thanks to my patrons. Thanks for watching. In the meantime, check out my Japan Starter Kit playlist for even more guides to get you prepared even before you start.